We're wrapping up our All Christmas Blues and Southern Soul program.
Gene Bailey.
We have a very special guest that you will definitely enjoy. And we'll hear from some of the artists that sing the Christmas blues. Join me, Gene Bailey, for Blues Time in the City this weekend before Christmas, right here.
This is comedian Janelle Banks, and you are listening to KUAW, Kansas City.
KUAW listeners, this is Carl Boyd for Wave Your Grades, coming to you every Saturday from 1 until 2 p.m. right here on KUAW. This program features American students striving for excellence in honor of our troops and American veterans, encouraging American students. Please join us every Saturday from 1 until 2 p.m. right here on KUAW.
Now on the air in Kansas City, the Cheryl Underwood Show.
We are proud to be part of the KUAW family.
The Cheryl Underwood Show. Weekdays Monday through Friday at 12 noon. KUAW around the world on KUAW.org.
Okay, that mic is on.
All right, this is Tyrone Gathers Jr., your host of The Source at Inkwell, live on KUAW. Knowledge, understanding, and wisdom. You can check out this broadcast a number of ways. You can hit us up on KUAW.org. You can also go to Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Periscope, YouTube. I know I'm missing one. Oh, and the TuneIn app, and type in KUAW Radio, and we'll pop right up. You can also go to your Alexa or your Google Echo and say, hey, play KUAW Radio, and we'll play live as well, too. You can call us at 816-599-6893, and you can also hit us up at KUAW95@gmail.com if you want to give us any comments, questions, concerns, or donations. Also, KUAW, Knowledge, Understanding, and Wisdom is Kansas City's global community radio station, and we are Kansas City's fastest growing internet station, so please support. Now, today, I have, again, our little co-host and training here, Miss Trinae Reed. How you doing today?
I'm doing well, sir. How are you?
I'm doing fine. I mean, I do a lot better once I, get some more close to the weekend. Yeah,
that is true.
It is true. It's true.
Well, hump day is tomorrow, so that's a plus.
Okay,
that's
yeah. Hump day tends to move pretty fast depending on the day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now we may have a virtual snow day. Which is
what?
Yeah, pretty much the day. Now, here's a good thing about virtual school, though. There's no such thing as snow days, per se. It just changes the schedule.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Yeah, so, the kids will be done by 12 instead of later on in the day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which is what it is. I mean,
are some teachers still going to the building or something? Is that what it is?
It depends on the district. Now, I know some districts, you got your elementary school kids there. Some are doing hybrid. I know ours are pre-K through 5 is in the building.
Okay, but everybody else,
and our special needs kids are in the building.
Okay,
but everyone else is online.
You know what? I'll have you mention that because I was wondering how is this affecting those kids, those special needs kids? They need that extra attention. I was wondering how this was affecting.
I know ours are in there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're there. I mean, I sometimes walk down the hallway and I see our functional skills kids. In the gym, or they're running errands, or it's like nothing happened. Okay.
It's good to know for them. Yeah. You still have that sense of normalcy.
And the good thing about it is they can effectively socially distance.
Yeah.
Same for the elementary schools too.
Yeah, not as many students in the school.
Now I heard something that kind of bothered me, that there were some schools, the CDC recommends 6 feet, which you see us, we're 6 feet away from each other across, So, yes. And also the CD, also the cameras too. And also, the CDC also recommends, the mask if you're not able to do this. But some schools are having these kids 3 feet away, if not closer.
Really?
And I'm like,
now I passed a school. What school is that over here off of Meyer in Rock Hill? It's a Catholic school. I pass by them pretty much every day when I come home from work, and I'm actually shocked and surprised to see kids walking out of the school building. I'm not gonna lie. I see buses lined up, parents lined up to pick up. It's a regular day.
That's the thing with some private schools. They can do their own thing.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah. But Yeah, I mean, personally, I talked to a parent today, and she said kids need to be in school. I agree. Kids do need to be
Yeah,
in school.
I
But
mean that
safely.
structure. Yeah, safely. That's the main word
Yeah,
there.
needs
Because
to
I
be
mean,
safe.
you know, they children, man.
Mhm.
They don't really care about germs and stuff like that.
Right,
It's
yeah.
up to us to not saying think for them, but take that into consideration for them.
Right.
You know,
It's like
so,
it's funny that all the germs these little kids have, it don't affect them.
no,
it
it affects everybody else. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Because
know?
like I remember that was one of the main arguments we had. I was talking to a friend of mine, and she was like, you know, I don't want my children in school, and I was like, I can respect that. I understand that. Because I'm like, one thing you don't realize is the kids themselves might not get sick.
Mhm.
But you putting teachers at risk, janitors at risk, parents at risk, grandparents. I'm like, it's not just about them. Like, yeah, the children might be safe, but what about everybody associated with them? They might not be so lucky.
Now you know they say that your first year teaching,
Mhm.
you will catch everything.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Your first year teaching,
You gonna get every sickness.
and then also
Wow.
like and comparable to that is if you're a first year teacher in another building. Like let's say I've been in this building, I'm I've got a little resistance, but now go to a new building. Yeah, it's gonna get you. You're gonna,
Right. It's
Yeah,
like being
yeah.
a teacher in high school and then going down to elementary school. Same district.
You're gonna
but
get slammed.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And that's
I
just
never
how-
even
you
thought
know,
about it like that.
And that's just how it is, I mean, because you're going into a new era, a new situation.
Yeah.
And
Whole new environment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right.
Exactly.
Absolutely right.
And with the whole, with change,
Yeah.
because we talked about in classroom
Mm-hmm.
to virtual,
Mm-hmm.
kids who are used to going to school, kids that are not going to school,
Mm-hmm.
that change brings stress.
Oh yeah.
And
Across the
then-
board.
Yeah.
For
str-
everybody.
Yeah. And stress
Yeah.
is like, it's like your usher to mental illness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cause I mean, like when you say mental illness, I know a lot of people think mental illness, they go straight to like bipolar, schizophrenia, but actually, like it encompasses every mental illness. Depression, anxiety, the big things, schizophrenia, bipolar. Like
Yeah.
it encompasses all of that. Even stress can sort of fall into that category. So like. We got to try to remove that stigma on mental illness. Like we really need to talk about it, man. Like we got to remove that.
Especially when it comes to kids too.
Oh yeah,
I'm noticing that
they pick up on what the adults do.
Right.
Like I feel like to help children, like there needs to be like a mental health class. Like you got the health class, but there needs to be a mental health class. You know what I mean? Completely separate. And it only focuses on coping mechanisms and how to deal with stress and how to recognize signs of depression. And that's necessary,
Yeah, and I think you nailed it, because one thing that I think that teachers, schools failed in general, was giving students a way to cope with what's going on.
Yeah.
And I've noticed that you have some schools that are allowing kids to play sports.
Mm-hmm.
And then some schools saying no. And I understand the whole safety issue, but what
Yeah.
are you doing to give kids an opportunity
Right. Relieve that stress.
to relieve it? Because, the deeper and deeper I'm getting into this virtual learning,
Mm-hmm.
the more and more problems I'm seeing it cause,
Yeah.
kids.
Mhm.
Now, I saw something on the news today, and I kind of looked there and I said, man, it makes sense. What I saw on the news was there was a situation where they're saying that people are starting to get anxiety
Mm-hmm.
from video calls, from Zoom calls, or
Yeah.
whatever video module you use.
Mm-hmm.
People are getting anxiety from because they're looking at themselves on the camera,
Yeah.
and I guess they're not liking what they see.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have that going on with a child, they
Yeah.
don't turn the camera on, they don't speak in class, they
Right.
don't speak up,
Right.
and I'm hearing teachers are experiencing kids saying that I'm having anxiety
Mm-hmm.
with the camera.
Yeah. And I can understand that. I mean, I myself, I'm in virtual schooling as well. I'm in trade school, and sounds weird, but we do everything online now.
Mhm.
And I'm that type of person. I just don't like being on camera. I've never have. I've never liked taking pictures. And now with the virtual learning, as an educator, you want to see your students. You want to see their face, make sure they're paying attention. And my teacher's the same way. Like last night, I was listening to my teacher, but I didn't realize I didn't turn my camera on. And that was the first thing she said. I need you to turn your camera on. And I think with that, teachers, because my teacher, I'm grateful. She's a little bit more lenient. She doesn't want to see my actual face.
Mhm.
Just like for me, I put it on and I point it at my hair or my hood if I'm wearing a hood or something, and that's good enough. She just wants to see a body in front of the
She
camera.
wants to see that engagement.
Engagement,
Yeah.
yeah. And you know, like for students like myself who aren't on camera,
Mhm.
she asked me more questions. Hey, what is can you read paragraph XYZ or whatever? Just to make sure I'm there, I'm paying attention, I'm attentive. So I think a lot of teachers, a lot of educators, you know, try to be a little bit more lenient with that. Because I mean, like you said, it's a real anxiety for a lot of people.
It is. And then like, you know, there are people who aren't in the educational field whose
Right.
job is like on there, and
Yeah.
some people say, you know, I don't like getting up and, you know, getting all dressed up just to sit at home. You know,
Right.
and that bothers people too. And I think, you know, one thing, and I really hope some of our political friends are watching. One issue that I have with all the when they have the shutdowns and everything is when you keep people confined.
Yeah.
That's not healthy.
That actually leads to depression, man.
It does. Deep
It leads to,
depression.
yeah, it does.
Deep depression.
It does, and depression and anxiety has skyrocketed during the days of COVID. Skyrocketed. Substance abuse, alcoholism, like all of that is skyrocketed.
Your child abuse, spousal abuse.
All of that.
Yeah.
Just because, like you said, it's confined. And now, like, for example, my mother lives in St. Louis. And shortly after this started, I say probably about 2 or 3 months into it, she told me that the news down there said they had almost a 50% increase in child abuse and spousal abuse.
Yeah, I believe it.
And I'm like, wow. Because you got to realize St. Louis was on worse shutdown than Kansas City was. They couldn't go nowhere. Like, they even closed AT&T. That's a big deal when you close AT&T. So when you think about it, you're like, wow, that's a lot of stress. And you're not doing anything to help. Like, I understand for safety, you can't go out. You can't do these certain things. But we still need to find stress relievers. Whether it's at home, outside, somewhere.
It's called self-care, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, people say, hey, you know, Zoom happy hour, virtual this, virtual that. You got to take a break from that virtual stuff, man. I mean, like,
yes.
It got so bad for me that I was looking at all these cameras and I was doing all these apps and stuff and, you know, all these spreadsheets and teaching. I had to go back to wearing glasses again.
Yeah.
And also there was another report on the news that said that people need to stop, you know, they need to give themselves breaks from staring at the computer screen. Now, like I told my students, you read 25% slower on the computer screen than you do in an actual book.
Yes, that is true.
Also, staring at that screen is not good for your eyesight.
Nope.
It's definitely not good for your for your sleep pattern. It's very unhealthy. So when you have these schools that make these kids sit and stare, or these jobs that make people sit and stare at these computer screens all day, it is very, very unhealthy. So I tell people unplug.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah, and I tell my students, if you're done with your work,
turn the computer off.
Yeah. Turn it off. Take a break.
Yeah, go outside.
I'm not gonna keep you now. I did have when you said go outside. I did have one student before it got too cold outside. She would always go outside and she would turn her camera on, and you'd see her like jogging in place or walking back and forth because she's keeping active. So that's how she coped. But now it's cold outside, and I really don't see her much.
Right.
On the camera. Well, really in class, now I kind of wonder if the weather
how she's
took
still
away.
coping.
Still coping.
Yeah.
So everyone got to find their own little mechanism. I have a coworker right now. She used to jog around the school building on the inside, or she would go and shoot baskets in the gym. But now she takes laps around the school building because that's how she copes.
Yeah.
Staying active. Now me, when I first started this thing, I couldn't stand it because I'm used to having a room full of kids.
Right.
I don't like it.
Right.
And I say it every day, I don't like it.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like this for educators who got into education for the children. This is hard, like I feel like this is really, really hard not being able to see your babies every day. Because I know for a lot of educators, that class is an extension of family. They look at them like, those are my kids. Like, I don't want nothing to happen to them. I'm looking out for them. Those are my kids. And it's not just from a 9 to 3 or whatever. It's all day, every day.
Yeah, because by law, y'all ours.
Yeah,
That's how it is.
So I feel like this is especially for educators who got into it for children and not just for, the incentives of I don't have to pay back my student loans. And
we still got to pay those back.
Yeah, well, I know for a short time they did have a couple programs where if you went to teach at an inner city or something like that.
It was only a certain percentage. But
it's a certain percentage, So I know for the ones who actually got into education for the children, this is definitely taking a toll. I already know.
It is. I mean, like being in a building that's quiet,
it's
not a good thing.
Nah.
Same for a college professor too.
Yeah.
And also, like, and the thing I keep telling kids, like, the more and more you go deeper in school, the more and more school teaches you how to work with others.
Yes.
How can you work with others and you don't be able, you're not interactive?
Right.
So I don't know. I mean, all that stress can is a gateway.
Mm-hmm.
You know how they say, quote unquote, marijuana is a gateway drug.
Yeah.
Well, stress is a gateway to a lot of dangerous things. For example, stress can cause the following: feelings of fear, anger, sadness, worry, numbness, or frustration, changes in appetite, energy, desires, and interest, difficulty concentrating and making decisions, difficulty sleeping or nightmares, physical reactions such as headaches, body pains, stomach problems, and skin rashes, worsening of chronic health problems, worsening of mental health conditions, and increased use of tobacco, alcohol, and other substances. So stress is like gasoline poured onto a fire. And we have people who are stressing out over this stuff. Like, for example, think about it. You already have some financial issues going on, and now you're stressing, and now it's making things even worse. We're not giving people an opportunity, to deal with these things. It's natural to feel stress.
Right.
It is. It's natural to feel anxiety.
Right.
It's natural to feel grief and to worry about certain things.
Right.
But here's the thing, though. I mean, we're in situations where it's amplified,
right,
and there's no way to cope.
Exactly. And the one thing that sticks out to me when you say there's no way to cope, there's also disparities in finding help to deal with these things from the health profession, or just from simply just knowing where to look, knowing who to ask. We don't really, especially in our community, Black community specifically, we don't have a lot of that. A lot of those resources that are specifically for our mental health. A lot of us get our mental health from the actual healthcare system, which we already know is not very kind to our people,
Right.
We get forgotten about a lot, especially our women. I mean, we're not even gonna go into the medical field with the women. But like a lot of that takes its toll. And then the fact that a lot of Black people specifically, like I can only speak for Black people because I'm Black. Like I'm not saying nobody else does this. But for Black people especially, we have this whole it's private type of mentality. So you don't want to talk about what's bothering you or what's got you upset or what's got you feeling stressed or feeling down. We chalk it up as that's life. Right. You got to keep it pushing. And it's not necessarily unhealthy, but it's not the healthiest response either. Like some of us are okay with that. We can get by with that. Hey, it's life. Brush it off, keep it moving. Some of us not so much,
Yeah, not so much at all. And I think what our issues are is everyone deals with things differently.
Oh yeah.
And when you try to tell people that they must deal with the situation in a manner in which you deal with it,
right,
or in a manner in which someone else is dealing with it,
right,
that is extremely disrespectful to the person going through it.
That is true. That is true.
Everyone encounters things differently.
Exactly. Boiling water makes an egg hard, but a potato soft. We all different.
Yeah,
we all different.
Yeah. I'm glad you said it. I was thinking about that analogy.
Yeah,
and you said it.
We all different.
Yeah, we all are. Because I mean, like some people perform well under stress.
And some people don't.
Some people don't.
Like for me, myself, in college especially, the best papers I wrote were the night before it was due.
Same here.
The worst paper I wrote was when I got the assignment. It was like, all right, let me knock this out. That one was about a C. But if I write it the night before it's due, like, dang, I forgot. I got a B plus, A minus. Like, dang, how did that happen? My roommate couldn't do it. No, she couldn't do that.
I'm up midnight hour.
Yeah, exactly.
I work best like that. But
always.
Like, kind of reminds me of that scripture that I saw earlier today in regards to things being cast into the furnace fire. And I mean that fire deals with everything different.
Everything is
pressure
different.
deals with everyone different.
Everybody.
I mean, this like if we're in the same stressful situation, we're not going to be able to come out of that same stressful situation the same because we're both made up differently. So I want to talk about some ways to cope with stress.
Okay.
And this is for parents if you have your kids around the radio or around the TV screen, or I don't know, wherever you're watching this, take, this is for everybody.
Mhm.
First things first, take breaks.
Regularly.
Yes.
Yeah.
From now, it says take breaks from watching, reading, or listening to the news or news stories or social media. Unplug.
I can agree with that.
Unplug.
I can 100% agree with that.
Because think about that. During the pandemic, you had to deal with unemployment,
Yeah.
police brutality, black folks being killed left and right,
Left and right.
black women being killed in their homes.
Doing nothing.
Yes.
Protests.
Yes, protest.
President not caring about the people.
You had to deal with other countries looking at us like, wow.
Yes.
Like we're in a freak show.
Yes,
Financial crisis. All that's going on.
All of that.
And like every time you turn on TV, it was something that added to your stress.
Mm-hmm.
So what we need to do is unplug. That includes social media.
Mm-hmm.
It's good to be informed, but don't be immersed.
Yes.
Okay, be informed with what's going on. Like,
yes.
Okay, yeah, I'm aware this is happening, but I'm not gonna immerse myself in it.
Right.
And that's a problem that I have sometimes.
I agree.
Yeah. So, it's good to hear about the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
It's good to be aware of what the numbers say.
Yeah, but don't sit there and keep ticking and counting. Don't do that.
Yes,
don't do that.
Like staring at the TV screen.
Yeah, no.
Like election results, the staring. No,
right?
Yeah,
no, don't do that.
Don't do
that's
that.
Not,
that's not healthy.
It's not.
It's not.
You're stressing yourself out.
Yeah,
that's what you're doing.
You can only go so far.
Yeah, I mean, you can only control so much. One thing I was always told growing up by her, Miss Lynn, always used to tell me, only thing you can control in life is you.
Yeah.
That's it. You can't control nothing else. You can't control what people say about you. You can't control how people think. You can't control none of that. You can't even control what people do to you.
Sure can.
But all you can do is control yourself, your reaction to things.
Like I told a kid, I said, stop saying that you control your emotions. I said, you don't. I said, an emotion that was here before you.
Yeah.
Emotion is an ancient entity. I said, you can only control
how you react.
Right. And I said, it said, well, how do you control an emotion? I said, you don't. You control yourself in that emotion.
Exactly.
Therefore, you're able to aim what the emotion does to you.
Exactly.
I said, all you can do is have your feelings. You control your feelings.
Right.
I said, feelings are nothing more but a perception of said emotion.
Exactly.
And sometimes your feelings are a reaction to an emotion, sometimes without the sense of intellect. Therefore, if someone says your feelings are hurt or your feelings are wrong, yes. Yeah. Because the emotion is. Anger is anger. How you perceive anger can be right or wrong.
Right.
Therefore,
exactly.
Yeah. Therefore, assuming everyone experiences this emotion the same way is false.
Exactly.
It is false.
Exactly.
So your feelings is what you can control. So, like you said, you control yourself in that situation.
That's it.
I am in a room full of anger. I can't control anger, but I control me.
Right.
Therefore, I'm able to channel the anger around me.
Right. That's exactly right.
Yes.
That's exactly right.
So, next one. It also says, like it says disconnecting from the phone, the TV, and computer screens for a while. Sometimes, we walk around like this. We gotta put this thing down, man.
Yes.
Unplug that TV. Read a book.
Yes. That's one thing I actually stress at my job. I work in construction. So the cell phone for us is actually a hazard. That's a safety hazard. And that's one thing I love about my job is it forces me to turn my phone off.
Yes.
And I mean, I have a mother and she lives out of the city. I have a father. So obviously I can't turn it off. But I put it in airplane mode, and for those set blocks of hours, when I first get to work, so from 6 to 9:30, not on my phone. I get on my phone that 20-minute break. I'm on my phone. Then after the 20-minute break is off, turn the phone back off.
Right.
I love that. And then it also gives me time when I get home. Now, okay, I'm home. I can relax. I don't have no homework to do. Let me see, that's how I check the news. So let me see what's happening in the news. So it gives me time to separate my phone time into useful time and recreation time, which I think also will help when it comes to that stress level. Right. Like for me, I don't even have Facebook anymore. I deactivated my Facebook. I deactivated Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all of it. I deactivated all of it because, like you said, anxiety. As soon as I see that little blue app, I was getting anxious every time. And don't let the little blue app have a red dot on it. Oh, dang. Now, had to cut all that out, man. Had to cut all that out.
I understand that. I'm at that point now where I'm thinking about just getting on every Tuesday when I do my show.
Pretty much, yeah.
Because it's too much. It's adds to stress.
It's way too much. And then once you add on to you know, most people have over 500 friends on Facebook. So that's 500 different opinions, 500
Yeah.
different viewpoints.
And then, like, do you actually know everyone that you're on social
Exactly.
media with? You know,
Exactly.
because there's a guy who I'm associated with, and he says the most racially inappropriate stuff, and then comes behind and says some Christian stuff. I'm like, you're the problem of why people
Yeah, you
don't
can't
like,
do that.
you know, who don't associate with Christianity, because you take racism and put that in the center and you coat it with
Mm-hmm.
Christianity. So when people get through your Christianity, they see your racism.
Yeah.
I mean, so and he gets on people's pages and purposely does stuff. That's called trolling, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
yeah.
trolling.
That's what he does.
Trolling. Yeah.
And I mean, so I remember one time he used to make me so angry.
Yeah.
And one time I said, you know what? I had to stop myself. I said, I'm in class with my students, and while they're doing an assignment, I'm arguing with this man.
Yeah.
And I'm like, stop.
It's funny you say that.
Yeah. I mean, you know,
I
that
had a
stuff.
similar
Yeah.
situation, man. It's funny you say that.
But we gotta take a break.
You got to. You
Yeah.
have to, especially with social media. Like you said, like I've gotten into so many arguments, debates, whatever you want to call it, with people, just because my main thing with social media is I can't hear your voice. So I really don't know how what you typed is really coming off. I don't know if you really are trying to belittle me or if you genuinely don't know. You know, and social media makes it hard because I don't have a voice. All I can do is read it, and all I get is my interpretation of what I'm reading.
Yep. You remind me of Paulie off of Goodfellas. He was the boss. He said he didn't like talking on the phone. He liked talking face to face.
Face to face.
I'm like that too. Like
yeah,
people
face to
like
face.
all this texting and stuff. I'm like, I don't no.
I don't mind the texting, but my thing is I need to know where you're coming from. I need to know the emotion behind that text message.
Exactly.
Because you know what can be said 1,000 different ways, just depending on the inflection of your voice. It could mean a different thing.
Yeah.
You know, so like when you just text what, I don't know if you mean what. You mean what? Like I don't know. Like
that's why I'm like. That's why sometimes I will call you. Okay, let's explain this.
Yeah, you know, yeah. Like that's sometimes I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes when I type something and I'm like, dang, that might come off a little harsh, I'll add a LOL or I'll put a little smiley face to let them know, like I'm not being upset. Like I'm not upset. I'm
not tripping.
It came off a little wrong, but I don't know how else to say what I need to say. So,
right? Yeah. It is what it is. Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah. So, but I'm 100% with that because I got into it with a guy on Facebook over Constitution, matter of fact, and it was the election, and we were going back and forth, and I just made a general statement. I was like, well, the federal government doesn't certify, has nothing to do with picking the president. It's in the Constitution. The states pick the president. The states pick the president, then send their votes, their certified votes, to Congress to be counted and certified there. But Congress in and of itself does not pick the president. We got into a whole argument, a whole debate about the election, the results, and what was going wrong, and all of this XYZ, only to come down to, I asked for a simple question. Well, show me your proof. Show me where did you find that you are correct. I didn't get that. So I'm thinking, you know me, I'm like, hey, well, you can't show me yours, I'm gonna show you mine.
Right.
Like, I'm not trying to call you stupid, but I'm just saying what you said wasn't the most intelligent thing when the facts are right here. Presented my facts, and it's funny because once you do something like that to people who are just there to troll, they stop. Because they realize, oh, well, you really know what you're talking about.
Some people they run from the fight.
Yeah, they run from the fight. Whereas, some people, like myself included, if I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. I ain't got no issue with being wrong. Just correct me so I won't be wrong again. And some people don't come from that place of love when doing something like that.
Which adds more to stress, and you got
Which
to
adds more
and
to
stuff
stress.
like that. Yeah.
Especially when you just trying to relax, just have a good time on Facebook. Because, Facebook's your friends. You want to joke around. And, I hope nobody takes anything on Facebook too serious.
Oh, they do. But that's why, which leads to, the next part about, taking things seriously. You got to take care of your body seriously, too.
Yeah.
Now, when I say take care of your body, you got to, it's more than just
eating right.
Right.
Yeah.
Because, your body intakes things. Like, I remember I asked a student, I said, why do you think a pizza is cut in slices. They said, so I can eat it piece by piece. I said, exactly. I don't know anyone that can eat a whole pizza in one bite.
Right.
Therefore, when you learn or when you intake information, your body is designed to take things in chunks. So take a chunk, process, digest.
Yep.
Take a chunk, process, digest.
Yep.
You do that when you look. You do that when you hear. You do that. I mean, everything in life that you intake in your body is taken in sections.
Yeah.
So, like for example, if you are stressed, they say that meditation is good. You know, taking
For some.
yeah, for some,
For
right?
some, yeah.
You know, take deep breaths, stress, meditate. And when I say meditation, I look at it as whatever it is you do to meditate.
Right, where that's
know,
listening to music, read a book.
playing a video game,
Yeah.
disconnecting, focusing on something else than, you know.
Right.
Right. Also, it says here to try to eat healthy, well-balanced meals. Now, yes, sometimes what you put into your tank does benefit you when you stress.
That is true.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, like,
That is true.
I notice when I eat more things that are unhealthy, when I get stress attacks,
Yeah. And I was just about to say, normally when I'm eating like good fruits and vegetables and stuff like that, stress doesn't really affect me that much.
right? No, not at all.
Yeah. So
Like, yeah, when you eat a lot of junk,
it's
it adds more to the junk that you're taking.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes you got to build up that firewall.
Yeah. And then I mean too, like you said, ingesting certain things, you gotta think too, like, what all are you ingesting? Like, if you're ingesting a bunch of negativity,
There you go.
you know, like you watching a bunch of, you know, Real Housewives where they arguing all the time, or
Trash TV.
yeah, like you taking that in, so that's also gonna alter your perception of
There
things.
you go.
So even if something happens, like something, let's say I drop my pencil, well, if I'm having a good day or whatever, okay, whatever, I pick up the pencil. But if I've been spending a week or so ingesting nothing but junk and listening to nothing but trash, well, that's gonna be a different reaction when I drop my pencil. That's not because I'm different; it's everything I ingested made my mind
Right.
perceive it different.
There you go.
You know?
Yeah.
So like you said, all of that matters. It's not just a simple, well, I'm feeling upset, let me talk about it. You kind of got to take into account, well, have you done any physical activity today? Have you been eating healthy today? What have you been ingesting as far as media consumption today? Like, all of that takes a toll on your mental and your reaction to things.
It does. Yeah, you are nailing it. Because the next point on taking care of your body is getting exercise regularly. It's like I told you about the young lady who I worked with. She's running up and down the hallway, and we all kind of laughed at her. But I said, well, she
might be doing it right.
She's on to something. So
Yeah.
now I notice between each class, I actually walk up and down the hallway.
Yeah, just to get moving.
Yeah, you got to. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, the more movement, the better. You got to keep that blood pumping.
Exactly.
Keep it flowing.
Keep it
because
flowing.
they have you sitting in front of a computer screen all day.
Mm-hmm.
And that's doing nothing but damaging you.
Yeah.
Like, I know some people, they bounce on a little bouncy ball, you know, to get themselves moving and active. Sometimes I get up and I walk around my classroom. You know, some other show is on your time. Someone came on and said there's another show on instead of us. Are you on? Okay. Let me check. Cause someone, excuse us, someone just texted us and said that someone is. Might be YouTube. It is? Okay. Huh. Yeah, I just got through asking them. Okay. Huh, that's odd. Well, looks like, cause I got people actually. Okay, so back to that.
Snap, are people actually looking at us?
Yeah.
Oh,
Right.
snap. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll check that out. So also exercise is very important. Like
Oh, yeah.
I mean, also we was walking up and down the hallway passing the basketball to each other. I was bouncing off the wall and everything. So that kind of gives you a sense of, you know, it's like a recharge.
Yeah.
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 So you know you gotta
Recharge
take care
your
of that body.
battery.
Yeah.
Gotta let your brain relax, you know. I don't want to say do something mind numbing, but you know, do something that don't require a whole lot of extra brain activity.
Well, you just got through going into my next point. You must be psychic. The next one's getting plenty of sleep.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Sleep is a value. I had one student, she said, I like to sleep. I said, nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that.
I said, when you're sleeping, sleep actually helps you recharge.
Mm-hmm.
I told her, I said, look, I said, how old are you? 12, 13? I said, you're going through puberty. I said, people think
She
puberty
needs
is-
the most
yeah,
sleep.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You need about 13 hours of sleep
Yeah.
between the ages of what? Middle school and high school.
Mhm.
You need about at least 13 to 10 hours of sleep.
Mhm.
And I told one of my kids, I said, if you're sleeping a lot, it's okay.
Yeah, it's
There's
definitely
nothing,
okay.
There's nothing wrong with
Now,
that.
look, you don't want to sleep too much,
Right.
Because now that can be a sign of
Right.
you going towards depression
Mhm.
and things like that.
Yeah, but overnight.
Yeah,
it's
but
okay.
yeah, a healthy night's sleep. Oh yeah, that's definitely needed.
They said Black Lives Matter as well.
Black Lives Matter. I mean, they do, but
They're still not telling us what they're listening to. So, yeah, we're saying that sleep is very important.
oh yeah,
And if you're not getting enough sleep, it will affect you.
it definitely does affect you. It definitely does.
So I know, like, when I don't get enough sleep, it messes with that firewall again for stress. You're more
Man.
susceptible for things to
Yeah,
bother you. You're easily agitated.
Yes,
You're sluggish. You're more tired.
irritable and
Irritability.
all of that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
everything's a problem.
everything.
Yeah.
everything.
I mean, that waking up on the wrong side of the bed thing is
That's
real.
real. Yeah,
you're
that's
not waking
real.
up on the side of the bed when you get rest.
That's real.
So, I mean, it's like when I notice that I don't get enough sleep, I see that it affects my whole day.
Everything.
Yeah, and like people
Yeah.
used to tease me like, oh, so you getting a nap today? If I don't get like a little at least 5 minutes,
Yeah.
like power nap, something, a little disco nap,
Yeah.
I'm not good.
Yeah.
You know,
Hey,
like-
I understand. I
Yeah.
completely understand.
Because before I do my broadcast here, I take a
Mhm.
little nap.
Yeah.
At least I have to. Because I mean, I have my whole work day.
Right.
I don't want to bring that here
Right.
to where there's an issue.
Right. Trying to keep that everything compartmentalized.
Right.
You know, keep work at work, here, home at home. That's another good way to alleviate some stress is to when I worked at GM, they always used to tell me every time you come to work you got a smile on your face.
Mhm.
Every time you come to work you got a smile on your face. You always in a good mood. You always in a good mood. And somebody finally asked me like, why are you always in a good mood? And I was like, because I leave at home when I come to work. I leave that there. That has nothing to do with these 8 hours. Whatever it was, whether it was a messed up day or I got into an argument with somebody, that has nothing to do with here.
Right.
And compartmentalization is one thing I have found to help me deal with stress. When I'm at work, I'm not thinking about home. I'm not thinking about nothing that is not work. And when I get home, I don't think about work. So like one question my husband asks me all the time when I get home from work, how was your day? I hate answering that question. Now I understand why he's asking because he cares and he wants to know, but I hate answering that question because that was there.
Mhm.
Leave that there. I don't want to think about it. Even if it was a good day, I don't want to think about it.
Yeah, that's why I don't like working from home.
Can't
Like,
compartmentalize.
Yeah, because someone said, why not? It's gravy. No, man.
Nah.
Home is your territory. What you're doing is you're
Exactly.
giving your job permission to dictate what you do.
Exactly.
I saw a schedule that said I need to do what? In my house?
Exactly.
No,
Exactly.
I will be going to the building.
Exactly.
Yeah,
You're
'cause
not gonna dictate what I do
yeah,
here.
No, you're not. You're not gonna tell me I'm gonna take a 15-minute lunch in my house.
No.
No,
Nah.
it's not gonna happen.
If I want
In
to
a-
eat on camera, that's what's about
Right,
to happen.
right,
I'm at
right,
home.
right. Yeah. Turn your camera on. I'm at home.
Exactly. That's why like when y'all like when I think of the students, I'm like, how hard is this? How stressful is this for students?
Yeah, I don't need that.
Because
Stay on the
imagine
side.
you a student at
Mhm.
home.
Yeah.
Like
And like
that's crazy.
and I tell some, okay, they were on the wrong radio station. We're good. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna say it again. If you're listening to the source of the Inkwell or cognitive conversations, they said they were on 98.5. They went to the radio dial on 98.5. KUAW is an internet radio station, so check us out on YouTube.
Oh man.
Or they went to 98.5 on the actual radio dial. Some Black Lives Matter stuff. It's probably on another radio station. It's okay. Yeah, we're good. No worries. But again, if you're listening to this broadcast, or if you want to share this broadcast, you can go to YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Periscope, Facebook, or tune in, type in KUAW Radio, we'll pop right up. So it's okay. It's all right. It happens. Okay, so we were talking about that, and then also it leads into excessive alcohol, tobacco, or substance abuse. Some people think that excessive smoking or excessive drinking helps alleviate stress.
That's called self-medication.
Right.
Yes.
And the key word is self-medication.
And it does not work.
It does not.
It does not work.
It makes it
worse.
It makes it worse.
It makes it so
and of
much
course people
worse.
say, well, what about weed? It makes it worse.
It
makes it worse.
Cause one thing that I forget where I heard this from, so I don't want to quote anybody, but I do remember hearing someone else say this. So these are not my words, but I remember someone saying that when you smoke weed to get rid of the problem is still there when the high is gone.
Exactly.
And that struck a chord because, coming from inner city or whatever, I know a lot of people that smoke weed. I know a lot of people that sell it. And I noticed that the ones who do it to escape from something, they end up doing way, way more over time. It slowly progresses because you can't get numb anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So you end up doing something. You either take whatever you're doing and take it to the extreme, or you transition over to something stronger, and now you have a serious problem.
Yeah.
So it's not gonna help. And I'm one of the major proponents from back in the day. Weed's not addictive. It's addictive. So that's not helping you. Now, granted, it probably isn't as addictive as like meth or heroin or something. But if you're taking part of that every single day to escape from something, it's one thing if you're doing that just because you want to, that's different. But if you're doing that to escape from something, to relieve stress, to alleviate something, it's not gonna help. And it's only get worse.
And then, like earlier, we talked about desensitizing.
Yeah.
Now that inebriated state is making you more and more and more desensitized to things that are important.
That makes you do worse and makes you have bad decisions, which can attribute to stress because now you have to deal with the consequence of this bad decision, So it becomes a cycle after a while, and that's not healthy.
It's not.
So.
Yep, and our person that was on the wrong station, they're on the right station now. They said, I see you and they looking good. Thank you for tuning in. The excessive alcohol use and the drug use is a problem because, like you said, when you come down off that high, come down off of that buzz, it's still there. And then you got to cope with that on top of this and on top of the decisions that you made.
Exactly.
Whether they're good, bad, or indifferent.
Exactly.
But we can talk about that all day in regards to that.
Yeah, I mean that can be a whole show in and of itself.
Sure can. Sure can.
Yeah.
And now they also I don't agree with this one. It says in order to cope with stress during COVID-19 is to get vaccinated with the COVID-19 vaccine when available. Now, it's not my place to tell people to get vaccination. It's not my place to push anyone. It's your choice.
Hey, if you want to do that, you do that.
Yeah, because like I said earlier, everyone's body is different. I can take a vaccine, I'll be fine.
I take it and kill over.
And your hair fall out, and your husband got to look at this all night. No, and that's not gonna work.
No, he's not gonna be okay with that.
No. So
everybody's different,
and we laughing through the pain because people say, "Oh, no, it's not many. It's only 1 in 10." Well, it's still a problem for that one person.
Right.
I don't want to be that 1 in 10.
But I mean, you take 1 in 10, and then you realize it's over 1 billion people in the country. Okay, that 1 in 10 ain't just 10 people no more. Now you're looking at a large population, a large percentage of the population.
Right.
Granted, it's only 10%. But that's a lot of people.
Tons.
Yeah.
So I'm not even gonna touch the COVID-19 vaccination. I mean, it's your prerogative if you want to do it.
Yeah, I mean, if that's what you want to do.
Yeah.
I mean, I ain't gonna lie. Once I start seeing more and more people take it and be okay, I might consider thinking about taking it. Not taking it, just thinking about it.
Yeah. And when you do, it's your business.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, as long as ain't nobody forcing you to, I don't really see it.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like it's about to be coming, though. I ain't gonna lie.
We got some school districts that are already trying to push.
Really?
Yeah, but I'm not gonna throw it out there.
I mean, I know the hospitals and things like that are doing that, which I can understand that.
And they force them to get the flu vaccinations too.
Yeah.
Which I understand why.
Yeah,
but,
like I work in the hospital. I don't get flu shots because I get sick every time I get one. I'm working in the hospital now. I had to take one to get the job. So I was like, well, be broke or take this flu shot.
Yeah. Yeah, and the next one. Make time to unwind. Now
that's a major one.
It is. It says to try to do some other activities you enjoy.
Yeah.
So do something besides work.
Yeah.
Like
if you like to cook, go cook.
Go cook.
Invent something in the kitchen.
Go play a video game.
Something, invent a board game.
Spend that time with your loved ones.
Something.
Whether it's loved one or your loved ones. Yeah,
play with your pets or something.
Because my son has all these toys that I gotta build for him, and and I know I complain to my parents and my sister about it. But
deep down,
but when I'm building stuff for this kid and he's enjoying it, I'm like, okay, yeah, we're having a good time.
Yeah, it's bonding.
Yeah, I'm building all these these racetracks that's going all over the place, going in the dark, and this kid's he's liking that.
It's relieving his stress and yours at the same time.
Right, exactly. It's definitely because like when he says, "You want to come play with me?" Yeah. And
you ain't got to think about nothing.
Yep.
You get to be a kid for a little bit. Revert back.
Yeah,
that's a good thing.
And spending time with them little ones.
Oh yeah,
it's great.
Yeah,
like our comment is saying, love yourself. You gotta love yourself. If you don't love yourself, you can't expect anybody to love you.
That's a fact. That is a fact.
Mm-hmm.
Not only that, if you don't love yourself, what everybody think of you is actually gonna bother you.
It is.
It's really gonna start eating at you, and you gonna get that stress.
And what did my man say to his son in Hamlet? To thine own self be true.
There you go.
And if you're not true to yourself, how are you gonna expect anybody else to be true to you?
That's a fact. That is a fact.
Is that echo on our end? Okay. I thought that was me again. Yeah, my mom always quotes that. I'm like, she must really like Hamlet.
Hamlet's a good movie. Good movie. It's a good book. It was a good one. Play. I'm sorry, that was Shakespeare,
sure
right?
Is. Yeah, that was
turned into Lion King. That's
the
best movie of all time.
What,
I don't care what anybody says. Yes, the cartoon, not the one with Beyonce.
I haven't seen that one.
Don't waste your time. Don't waste your time.
Look at they loving that.
don't even waste time. It's gonna add stress, man. Don't do it. Don't do it.
It's making my anxiety go.
Man.
Let's see. Then like for example, like things I like to do.
Mm-hmm.
I like to write. So I amped up on writing more poems.
Yeah.
I'm getting back into playing my video games.
Yeah.
And then also sleeping, catching up on sleep.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a miracle when you can do that, right?
Now, what do you do to unwind?
When I'm trying to unwind, actually, everybody's probably gonna find this weird. When I'm trying to unwind, I get on YouTube. I watch a bunch of random YouTube videos. People cooking, people over in Japan, Korea. I watch people like today at lunch. I was watching a guy build a model house. Just random.
That is relaxing though.
It is.
Like
I've been watching the I don't even know if they actually live there, but the little people building mud huts and stuff. I used to watch them too.
With the stick and
the
stick and the brick.
I watched one. He built a whole water slide. I was like, this is dope.
And the guy that made the indoor pool.
Yeah. They make some really cool. I watched the dude make a whole
brick
furniture.
and a bucket of water.
That's all they need.
Out of mud.
That's all they need.
Yep.
And they are happy. And I'm like, yo, that is content right there.
That, I used to watch that old guy from India named Daddy something.
Oh
He feeds like the whole village.
Yep.
But he died.
He
recently.
passed away.
He did. That messed me up.
Yeah.
I said, man,
I felt a certain type of way behind that.
Yeah, I did too because he did so much for the people, and I enjoy watching that.
And he enjoyed doing it. You
sure
can see
did.
the joy in his face just cooking for other people.
Yeah.
So that's what I do to unwind. I watch other people be happy and in their element. That's what I do. And it makes me not only appreciate where I'm at and what I'm doing, but it gives me time to not think and actually learn a little something. Like I didn't know I could build a house out of mud. I mean, I knew I could do it, but I didn't know I could do it.
He make it look so easy though, don't he?
They do. It's so fast.
But what you gonna do in the rain though?
I be thinking that too.
Yeah.
I do be thinking that. I be like, how you make that hard enough for what the...
Yeah, well,
like,
they
what
got
if you get like a tsunami or something? Like,
he's like, no, I got you.
He got it? Oh, okay,
I got you.
But that's what I do, man.
And then I got one right here. Connect with others. You gotta trust your concerns and I'm sorry, you gotta trust you trust about your concerns and how you are feeling. So you gotta have trust. Talk to people who trust you.
Yeah.
Call that person. Have that battle buddy, like how it's in the military. Have that battle buddy. Yeah. You gotta, like, for example, when I first switched over from in class to online, my closest friends called me and said, "Hey man, I know you messed up. You good?" And I went through a little mild depression.
Yeah.
My co-teacher, she called. Her and I still talk to this day. Another close friend of mine called.
Yeah.
Another buddy of mine was like, "Hey, you want to go out and just hang out?"
Yeah.
Friends of mine who weren't even in the profession was checking on me because they knew this is his element.
Yeah.
You took a shark out of the water. He's flopping on dry land right now.
Yeah. And I completely understand.
And if I haven't said it, I thoroughly appreciate those who came by and saw me beached and was either throwing buckets of water on me or trying to push me back out.
back there. Yeah.
And I thoroughly appreciate that because that's definitely needed.
That's definitely necessary. Everybody needs. My mama told me, she like, you need at least 3 people. 3 people that no matter what's going on, 3 people that you can call whether it's happy, sad, hey, I just need a break. Everybody needs at least 3 people. And she was like, preferably get 3 different people, completely different from each other. And I took that to heart. Like for me, one of my people is my mother. Completely different from my other 2 people. So the other person is my husband. He's completely different from my mother in every sense of the word. So you need that balance a little bit because, you're not the same person with everybody. We all change up, and there's nothing wrong with that. But you need 3 people who know the real you in every sense of the word so that they can tell you, hey, something's not right, man. What's going on? Like you said, you had those people calling because they already knew. Like,
yeah, they already knew.
Hey, we already know they doing this with the school. This is his love, his passion. Hey, let me go check on my man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, they said he ain't right.
Yeah, they already knew. They didn't even have to talk to you to know you wasn't right. They knew the situation and knew you wasn't right. You need people like that.
And then, in my students, they saw it in my change. Like the ones that I had, they would email me. Like one kid, he and I would always argue back and forth. So this kid picked an argument with me on
just
purpose. Because he took
sense of normalcy a little bit. Yeah.
Because he know that I did that with him when he was going through something. And so he did that with me, and I'm like, man, okay.
Yeah.
I know what you're doing, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So, it's amazing that when you do that, not only are you connecting with people, you're also connecting with your community too. Yeah. And of course, if you're able to go out and do things and effectively socially distance, do it.
Yeah.
If you're able to follow those guidelines and protocols, do it.
By all means.
Because fear, unnecessary fear, that's given by someone else causes stress. Like I told my students today, we watched we read the teleplay, The Monsters Are Due on Maple Street. It's an old Twilight Zone show.
Okay.
But I thoroughly recommend everyone to either read that play or watch the episode of the Twilight Zone, The Monsters Are Due on Maple Street. And at the end, the individuals make a comment and they say that the most dangerous weapon in the world is fear in someone's mind. And I remember hearing an old revolutionary say that the most powerful weapon is fear in the mind of the oppressed. And if you are allowing someone to put this fear in your mind, you are adding more to that stress bomb that they're detonating inside of you.
Exactly.
And when that countdown comes up and blows up, they're not going to be there to take care of you.
No.
Like they told me, you at work, they probably like you, but I guarantee you drop dead, they're going to put someone else in that spot.
Exactly.
I've seen people smile in someone's face. I've seen people, quote unquote, cry about a situation when someone was going through, but as soon as they died, they brushed it right off.
Yeah.
And that messed me up.
Yeah.
I remember, and I hope my brother's watching, someone close to us passed away, and the person in charge kind of laughed it off. I'm like, wow, really?
Yeah, see, that's messed up.
So, yeah, it is.
That's messed up.
Yep. See, time flies when you're having fun. But, I will say this, though. Fun is temporary, and enjoyment is more permanent.
Yeah.
What we do is an enjoyable experience. And it's very enjoyable having Trinae here on the Source of the Inkwell because, like I said, it's actually established, giving the show more content, and it's also growing this broadcast in the station. So what we suggest you do in order to combat stress is to find things that are enjoyable. Make the stress temporary in your life. Make coping with stress and running from stress more enjoyable. Find things that are more permanent in your life, like happiness.
Yes.
Make that permanent.
Yes.
Just like ink in the Source of the Inkwell, where education is permanent, make that enjoyable experience permanent also. Let it overflow and stain permanent like ink. God bless. We'll see you next week.